Do you have any stories of miracle money? So now that you've put God, money on the altar and God on the throne, when you work for God, God works for you. He gives you a vision and He gives you provision for the vision. So do you have any examples of where, like, look at that? You're unconditionally giving, and so when you do that, you tap into unconditional receiving, and the God's the greatest giver that's ever existed, and the greatest gift that you can give to the greatest giver is to be a great receiver. So have you experienced that, and did you become a great unconditional receiver?
Absolutely, absolutely. It does come with the territory, if you will. Like when you're playing this game, what I've found, and I know you know this to be true, John, from your book that you wrote, The Spiritual Capitalist, but when you're playing this game, instead of being like a businessman who's trying to think about how to make profit, and I think about profit as like taking from your brothers and your sisters, right? There's a gain, there's a plus and a minus on the ledger when there's profit. And so that is uh, the opposite of miracle money, right? That is a taking. And that's what so many of the LLCs and businesses are focused on, of shaky foundation. And so when you set up your Trinity chess piece, now you're playing the game in a new way, and you can receive miracle money in ways that don't work for corporations or LLCs, right? Because they're designed to have to make a profit. Miracle money, when you're set up appropriately and you can articulate what you're up to by serving God's children, not running a business, allows people who are enrolled in what you're up to write big checks and give them to you to support your cause. Right? So now your conversation with the people that you're serving is different. I ran into a guy in one of my last visits back to States when I went to speak at a conference on some of these things. And I went to visit with him, and we struck up a conversation. He loved what I was up to. He had heard about 508s. And before you know it, he had offered me to stay in his, he had just bought a $3 million house, and no one had even moved into it yet. And he said, "Hey, why don't you stay here for a couple of months and let's study together?" And I'm like, "Okay, why not?" And with an intention to assist him to set up his process of the chess pieces and all these things. And then he turns around and he writes a 6-digit check to me for a statement of good faith to show me that he supported what I was up to. He loved the vision and the mission. He was a wealthy man, and he liked this direction of what we were doing. So that was one of the most recent opportunities or miracle money
Well,
checks that I
I
received.